Hello, hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Borderline Podcast Disorder. I hope you had a good week, folks. We're changing things a little bit today, just for today, really. I've just finished recording this episode with Lluis earlier today, and because we've talked about, you know, Kanye stuff and Bryce Mitchell. I thought, you know what, yeah, it's more relevant. It's relevant. It's. I feel like it's got a time limit, or it's quite topical, which is not something that you'd normally see, from this. So that's why I've decided to actually, skip the queue a little bit, and so yeah, the episode that you're going to listen to today. Also, I'm really sorry for my voice. I think I've got a bit of a cold, you know. My when I woke up, especially my nose was blocked and my throat was really, and it still is fairly sore, and yeah, this is not my usual voice. Although I kind of wish it was, because it sounds cool. I think it sounds really nice. Like, I'm really yeah, I'm really into this, but I don't want to pick up smoking again. Um, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to have this voice. But if I don't, then just know that I've enjoyed my time with this. However, I do apologize for, the audience or people who are listening and are like, hey, is this actually Levi? Or is it someone else? No, it's me. This is just my voice of, yeah, sickness, I guess. Pretty cool. Almost, although I've been maybe too sick recently, and I've had too many problems in the past year and a half, that I'd rather be, yeah, just healthy for a while. I kind of don't mind if this sticks around. But yeah, look, folks, it's been a fairly good week. I've got a lot of stressful stuff happening in the coming week. So before Valentine's Day, I hope things will go well, but we don't know what's going to happen. And then hopefully I'll have some good news for you next weekend. But until then, yeah, pretty stressful situation. Um, I had a run of really good gigs though. I feel like I've managed to do really well and engage with a lot of people. I think I had some wonderful feedback from the shows that I've done, but I also enjoyed it a lot. And that was wonderful, really. And yeah, it's you see, this is the thing is it's not like just having everything going exceptionally well. Like the comedy's been going really well. The podcast has actually been going quite all right, and my studies have gone okay, but then still looking for like a day job. Still got some issues with my former day job. And still being like owed money and still struggling financially, but besides of that, everything else is going really well. And also, like me and my partner are getting on really well. The kitties were spayed last week, and it's been pretty stressful, because we didn't know what's gonna happen. Like we didn't know. Yeah, like I didn't like we did. I don't think neither me or my partner expected for the process to be like this. We kind of thought it would be a quick thing, but they actually ended up, having to like drop them off at the vet in the morning. Then I went to pick them up in the evening, and then they were going through the recovery where we had to like put those like anti-inflammatory medication in their food, and then wondering whether are they in pain, are they okay, will they be okay, looking at the wound and making sure it's healing properly, stuff like that, which was quite stressful. um, and also they weren't getting along for a few days. I think they could still smell the vet smell, and they didn't like each other. They were hissing at each other a lot. But then in the last couple of days, they've actually uh, came back, and they are actually being quite sweet and yeah, just very cute together. And then on Monday, I'm taking them to the vet for their last check, for the 10th day check, and hopefully that's going to be a good one as well, because the one that I did a few days ago, yeah, the vet was quite happy. She was like, "Hey, they look good." We stopped actually giving them the anti-inflammatory medication much earlier because it didn't seem like they need it, which is good. They start getting like an appetite again, and stuff like this. So yeah, that's going well, and they are such a bundle of joy, in our lives, and we love them very much. But look, I think that's pretty much it from me for this week. I hope you enjoyed the episode I recorded with Lluis, and yeah, make sure you check out his social media. Make sure you check out his band and his music, and yeah, I'll catch you before we wrap it up. But that's it for now, folks. Thank you. So we start recording from where we were left off.
Okay, very good. So
Yeah, and then I'll go back to the beginning. But yeah, basically the thing with the Kanye's tweets is that he's also done like he went like anti-feminist, anti-LGBTQI, anti everything,
yeah.
But
Apart
then
from anti-Trump,
it just looks like everyone just went like, oh, he said some like anti-Semitic shit, and again, one, it's not the first time. Two, that's not the only thing he said.
no, he's actually. It feels like he's kind of hitting all those notes for inflammatory reasons, though, as well. Also, he also believes it, and he also believes that he's a genius. He claims he is. Don't get me wrong. Some bits he's done, like I'd argue, yes, but if someone claims they're a genius, immediately you're out the race. It's like Trump saying, I'm this and that and the other. It's like it kind of works against you to a degree. You're not meant to say that. Other people are meant to say that for you. But you can say anti-Semitic stuff and be anti-Semitic, though. That still works.
I also think, like, again, just because you're like a genius, say like musically, that's it. Like that's your
Yeah.
genius reach.
Yeah, that's where that's your sphere of influence.
But you can't be like, oh, just because, say, like, oh, I have a doctorate in engineering.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you know what? I know how biology works. How the
Yeah.
fuck would I know?
Doctor in engineering. I know how to fly a plane now, or something like that.
Yeah. I'm like, no. Again, I may be a genius in regards to one field.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm. But again, it's quite like I think when I saw the posts online, and everyone went like, again, like all loads of like newspapers, or people that I'm close to, and started like sharing, and I was like, I'm genuinely like, I'm so not surprised.
So Nazi surprise.
Yeah, I was like, no. I remember at the beginning, like many years ago, I was like, oh no, this is heartbreaking. But now it kind of got to the point where I was like, yeah.
I think you see, I kind of I feel like I was getting annoyed with him because he was like straight away, maybe around 2010, he was like, I'm a genius. And then he also did that, as much as I don't really care about the whole Taylor Swift and that.
Yeah.
But he went on stage, he was like, I don't think she should get the award. It should be Beyonce. That was the best video or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, the thing was, I felt I could see myself doing that. That's the type of thing I would do, where I'm like, no, this and that, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what am I doing? But I'm doing it, and I just, you know what I mean, like just going crazy in the moment, like really childish. Like I don't think that's my ball. We're not. I'm not letting anyone else play. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is my ball. We can't play, sort of thing.
I think when you
Childish. Is my point.
when someone who you shouldn't necessarily like listen to um the beliefs on like world affairs or to someone who doesn't have custody over their children.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's where you kind of draw the line. If like a judgment, like, hey, it's not safe for your
Yeah.
children to be in your
Yeah.
presence.
If you're
then
if your dream, if your number one goal in life was to marry a Kardashian, hey, I don't know if politically I'm going to be following you blindly. Really, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not really. If it was, if he was talking about, this is the new makeup, this and that for Uriah, I'll be like, you know what? He probably comes from a pretty sound place. He's
But
with Kim K.
I also think
But politically,
there is an album coming soon.
well,
I'm pretty sure because it otherwise, again, it's a very like there is a path, every time before something comes up, and then he might actually get a new version of I don't know, freeing like the Miami Choir Boys.
Right.
You're not Jewish, so you wouldn't.
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
It's like this like Jewish band.
I look it, but I'm actually
And-
not. That's the thing. Like a lot of people do actually like. But
Bro, they are.
carry
Like,
on, yeah.
I'll show you because we basically before we started recording, I introduced Lluis.
It'd be Lewis or just
Lewis.
be Lewis.
Lewis.
But Lluis would be
Lewis.
the proper.
So
Yeah.
I introduced Lluis to the movie Goal, and I showed him the trailer. After we're done with the podcast, I'll introduce you to the Miami Choir Boys. But basically, I'm all I'm saying is I can envision a Kanye album coming like next week that has a feature song with the Miami Choir Boys,
Yeah.
just to
Which-
like make people.
And then the
go,
next
"Wait,
one would
what?"
be the Miami Proud Boys after that as well, which would be too surprised. That's kind of the trajectory we're going in. And it's been building up to that over the years. He's said a couple of things, and then now it's
Yeah,
the Proud Boys moment.
yeah. It'd be
He's
like,
the face of Proud Boys, like is Kanye.
hey.
Just like, and everyone's like, yeah,
Do you
it
remember
makes
when
sense.
he came out like with the mask thing?
Yeah, yeah.
And-
And people are like, that's not really Kanye. It's like, even if it doesn't matter, it is okay if it isn't. I
Yeah.
don't care. You know?
Imagine being Kanye's body double.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine that. You'd get paid quite a lot, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah, you definitely would.
yeah. He
He'd be
does.
great. Yeah, I don't think he's the type of guy who's really caring about how much money. Maybe he is.
No, I think he cares about
Maybe
how
he
much
is.
money he makes, but like he loves.
Maybe he is. Now that I said that, I'm like thinking the opposite.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like
Yeah, he must love that.
he's really on top of it. He might be the type of guy who's on top of. All right, I've seen 50 cents go out. What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
like,
That type
I'm
of
not
guy.
tipping.
Oh, I'm still, I've subscribed to Netflix and all of it. Well, what's this?
Yeah.
I might as well get a Fire Stick.
I don't need the family package.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Very nice. Yeah.
But anyway,
Who's this money going to? Who's in charge of all this? But yeah,
yeah, I think even with his accountant, he's like, I don't need an accountant. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
oh god, okay.
Yeah.
But that's the topical part of the
That's
show.
a bit of Yee. By the way, is it Yee or yeah?
I still call him Kanye. I like.
Kanye's way better the name. It's a good name.
The thing is, I just think it's funny because I do this thing where like with Twitter, like I still call it Twitter because I think that I like to think that this is my win
Yeah.
over Kanye because he's like, no, it's and
Which
I'm like,
is-
no, it's Kanye.
In this case, it's synonymous with Elon Musk, Kanye. So that win is kind of you're beating.
You're but also the thing is, and look, I actually tried to do a joke about this where I was like, when the whole like people started leaving Twitter and everyone was like, oh my god, can you believe like what a fucking asshole Elon Musk is. I'm off Twitter. Are you off Twitter? And I was just like, yeah, he's a bit of an asshole. I was like, are you off Twitter? And I was like, yeah, he's a bit of an asshole, But I wouldn't go. I'm not going away.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I'll get,
Like,
Twitter,
yeah.
I'll get off it soon. There's
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Just-
no, he's a prick. He's a prick. I don't like that.
Just avoiding it.
That's exactly what happened with even the. Do you follow UFC?
Yeah, I do actually.
The guy. What's
Oh,
Bryce Mitchell?
Yeah, the
the
guy who said all the Hitler. Did my own research. Yeah, no, the difference is I did my own
Yeah.
research and he's all
a
right.
good guy, yeah.
He's all right.
And the first thing that I did actually, I went on his Twitter and I was like, no way. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. But then in the other hand, I was like, look, even the same with like Kanye. I don't follow him on Twitter, but the first thing when I saw the tweets, I was like, I gotta see it
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, because I know obviously I understand. No, I want to say I understand the whole like canceling stuff. But then I'm like, you know what? I feel like if anything, when someone's like, like when a dog is barking really loudly,
Yeah.
if you engage with the dog just keeps barking.
Yeah.
While if you don't engage with the dog, but you just let him fuck, because you're like, what
Yeah,
you're saying, it's stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Just fucking say, because
say your piece and then we'll know what the answer is at the end.
Honestly, I think Bryce Mitchell, he must have been like, oh my God, I can't believe someone actually listened to this. You know?
Do you think it's like that then? Or do you think he's like been saying that for a while and then he just felt that comfortable to do it anyway? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like building up his...
No, he could have
he's
been.
that, maybe he doesn't seem like he's got a lot going on upstairs sort of thing.
Yeah, but this is the thing where I like, look, although there are...
I mean, he did do his own research and you can't fault a man for that, you know.
But it's
he
like,
could get his PhD in that as well.
Look, I feel like with all due respect, there are loads of like, Jewish, like cage fighters or like, again, like pro, like Israel, anti-Israel Jewish.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I don't want to like, I don't listen to like my political, stuff from people who get
That's exactly what
in the head.
Yeah.
On a daily basis. Like again, I
agree.
don't want to sound disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's just that I would rather listen to someone who
I'm not checking the weather from this guy, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what does he reckon about the weather? He's like, it's gonna be shit outside. Like
I did my own research.
I got it in my pocket, in fact, you know.
Yeah, so I think he might have believed in this, but then I'm like, his whole life, which is again, it's stupid. Like that, this has to be acknowledged.
Yeah,
but also I'm like, you know what? Just like okay, because the thing is, and this is where I don't know what I'm curious to know what's your theory about it, but like. To me, I'm like, the time when you say you're trying to like silence someone, it's almost like the time when it makes you question your own beliefs or like your own behavior, like your own conceptions. Like, oh, am I wrong?
That's true.
But then because you don't want to be challenged in that, you're like, just shut the fuck up. While I personally think if you're like, you know what, I know you're full of shit. Just like say whatever you want, because then actually the problem, I personally think the problem is not necessarily with, although again Kanye is an asshole, but it's not.
It's funny
the
how
problem
you still have
not,
to say that every
the problem,
every now and then. Just
the problem is not him, because he is already known for being like an anti-Semite. He's already known for being a freak. Like he's anti freaking like black people technically, because he said he's got like his own. He did his own research on slavery and how it worked.
Yeah, funny that he loves Candace Owens but doesn't love Michael Owen, weirdly enough. But anyway, carry on.
But the only thing is that what I was going to say is that, again, you listen and you're like, this is bullshit. I don't. If anything, again, I'm annoyed at people who actually like. I'm annoyed at the thousands of people who liked those tweets. Like I'd rather say what's wrong with these people, because these people went like, you know what, this guy's crazy, but also like, so it's the same with like Bryce Mitchell. He might think that again Hitler was a nice guy, fair enough, but if you also go like, you know what, he's got a point, then I'd say that's actually I'm more pissed at the other person. The one that goes like, oh yeah,
who validates,
yeah. Good
That's
point.
fucking stupid, because you didn't even come up with the point. You've just kind of, fucking leached off the other person and been like, you know what, that's pretty good, and then just carries on with the racist like for whatever their views.
Yeah,
oh, that's good, but you're too cowardly to actually full on do it. So you're almost saying that the UFC fighter is to be respected for coming out and saying something. I get your point there. From that, that energy alone is kind of good, but also scary, because that can. A lot of people will look at that and be like, this is how it kind of starts. Like leaders start like this to a degree. They'll be like, they'll rally up the troops. You might have had a bad day, like, and just be like, let out your worst feeling inside and be like, oh, this is because of that. Or you're getting the tube back and you're like, oh, it's because of this guy and people like this. And it's that easy to sway a lot of people, I think. Like the people are teetering. People are there already. And I almost agree. It's more cowardly just to be like, yep, that's again, must be that.
Because I'm like, yeah, again, like you acknowledge it. You listen to someone. If someone comes in here and I was like, oh, I'm white. I have superior genes. You're like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. What
But
you
then if I go like,
debuffed as well.
yeah, if I go like, yeah, he's got a point. That's when you're that person. I'd be a bit like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, rather than going, why are we allowing him to talk? No, like, I let him talk. Because sometimes, like, look, how many people are busking on the street? How many times you stop with people busking? You don't. Or like, again, sometimes with all due respect to people who are busking, I
don't know, man.
you.
No respect. But yeah, no respect for those guys. Yeah, you can do your view, but
yeah, again, it's fine. We can
agree to disagree with that.
Disagree. But no, all I'm saying is, look,
I might leave on that note. Actually, that was enough for me.
That's enough. Yeah, I had enough. So that was it. Thank you, folks. Now, anyway. So now let's go back to let's go full circle to like, yeah, talk about you. How was your journey here?
My journey to this location.
Okay, which is secret, by the way. Don't.
Yeah. So now, oh man, I took the wind out of my sails there. I was about to give you everything: the timings, the route, the price. £1.90 it was actually. But
oh, you live nearby then?
Yeah, not too far. Yeah, in Bow. I live in Bow.
Nice.
So that was why I was like, this is pretty convenient. When you were like, let's do it virtually or
in person,
I was like, in person for sure.
Okay.
I've heard good things about Snaresbrook,
which is not where we are.
Yes.
You're just saying
Snakebrook.
Snakes
is what I am. In fact, that's what I turned out to be before I knew it.
Hammersmith.
Yeah, as in like snare as in a drum snare. Grow up, listeners.
What's drum snare? Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to
educate.
But yeah, so we are in Snakesbrook. And it's raining. It's a terrible day today. And I just travelled on the DLH. DLH is the cable that we're using today. Man, it threw me off. The DLH or DHL, I got delivered here by the delivery truck. No, the DLR, and then the central line. And it was raining a lot, and it still is, and it's February, so it's actually really shit outside.
It's really bad. I feel like in the last couple of days it's been surprising.
It's been really bad.
Shit.
And it's been worse than when we had the storm as well, it feels like. But no one talks about it. It's like there's no name given to this, but it's worse than when we gave the name to the storm.
I was in Romania when the nameless storm.
Exactly. I might as well have been in Romania as well, because I'm telling you, it was non-existent almost compared to what the weather's like now.
They did their own research before.
Yeah, that's the thing. They all just like, they went to Bryce, whatever, and they were like, and he's like,
there's going to be a storm. Yeah.
I don't think it was a bad guy. I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I think it was a bad storm.
I agree. Or whatever he said. He's not. The thing was, the way he said it was like onto something new. Like it was a new angle. He was like, right, I think something he said, everyone's like, right, what are we going to hear? It's one of the most dragged out points ever. And loads are against.
But also the camera angle. I don't know if you've seen it.
I did.
But I'm like, bro, just move the tripod. Just put it in front of you.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. That was
like,
a bit
guys.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was whispering.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was shielding it with his body, like, because he was like, even in the comfort of his own home, he was like, you know what? Or wherever he was at, he was kind of still protecting it.
My mom might enter the room.
Mom, and she disagrees, actually. Yeah, so no surprises there. But who was he talking to? What was that? He was talking.
I have no idea. I just know seeing the video, and he was like, Hitler was a good guy, and I was like, why are you hiding? I thought you were.
When I saw that, I didn't think he would say it like that, and then you saw it, and you're like, oh shit, like he's actually
did say it, yeah.
Hitler.
I know sometimes this is the funniest thing where you're like, well, it doesn't really mean what it means, when people say, oh, this doesn't mean that.
Like, he could be. It's vague. They've tiptoed around. They haven't quite been.
And I'm like, no, this is very like when again, like coming back to Kanye, when like, I'm a Nazi. You're like, yeah, he did use the I am a Nazi. Like you're not. Oh, he meant he's anti.
Yeah,
Nazis.
No,
like I remember that like Ricky Gervais bit where he goes like, when people started putting on Twitter like anti-fascist, and he's like, I thought that's like I would assume.
Yeah.
Anti-fascist.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's the most people you would. Yeah,
you'd assume you're like.
You'd assume, you're kind of
don't like it. But anyway, so you're saying you came from Bow.
From not too far, yeah, and travelled down, and I don't work too far from here as well.
Oh.
Uh,
I haven't seen you in ages, and by the way, I have to say this before we continue.
yeah, man.
I forgot how soothing your voice is. You have a very nice voice, by the way.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree, and for that, I'm going to dig deeper into that smoother voice. It's a very oddly enough, but it does. Do you know what? Do you know what still happens though? My voice, it still breaks, it cracks. I don't. I shouldn't be doing that. No,
Okay.
it's fucking pathetic sometimes because I'll be there, and it normally happens when it is aligned to when my self-esteem is a bit lower,
Fair.
and I'm like that. You know,
Yeah.
you can't really see it if you're listening, but it's
He's
like
shaking.
I'm shaky. I'm shaking with my hands. It's not me doing half a hacker, like, but you know, and I feel and it's shaky, and it gives up on me. It's like when I'm talking to someone, I'm having a conversation with myself, like, don't you dare, you know, give up on me. It's like one of the, do you know the bridge in Indiana Jones where they're like chopping it?
Yeah.
Shaky. It's like that. And I'm like, don't you chop that bridge? And then it will do it mid convo, and I went, yeah, and I'll be like, you cowardly, and it will be to my girlfriend, like she'll be annoyed with me, and then I'll be like, oh my god, here comes the quivering voice, like I'll quiver, but unintentionally, but I'm having that conversation with that loose bridge inside me, and it will embarrass me. Yeah, and it still breaks, and you know, and I want to project my voice sometimes, and I'm there like projecting it, being all good, and then it'll be a little in there, you know, and I'll be like, I'll get annoyed because whoever's there to witness that, I'll be like, I'll be honest with you, I'm way past the age where this should be happening, and I'm pissed off. That's what I'll say. Like, I'll be annoyed with them too. I'll be like, I'm fucking annoyed too. So don't have a go at me. Don't think anything of me. I'm doing my own, but I'm having a word with him right now. That's how I feel about it. So yeah, that's my voice. But yeah, thank you very much. It is. I think the tea definitely had something to do with that.
I've put tobacco in your
very nice. Yes, very nice.
To make
Well, I added my own little homemade opium, so that's absolutely fine. Really, homemade opium.
But you've been. I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, so I actually went back to live in the Midlands for like 2 years because I quit my job maybe about 2.5 years ago. And I was like, well, I can't really live in London anymore. So I went back to live with my parents. And when I was back there, I just did a bit of comedy around the Midlands, like Birmingham and Coventry. And, you know,
how was it?
It was good. It was all right. Yeah, I liked it and stuff. And also, I was looking for a job. So it was just a bit weird, and obviously living with your parents at this age and having a girlfriend in London, it wasn't really the coolest look. So you can imagine my voice was breaking quite a lot.
Coming,
yeah, for a job, this and that. And she's like, "Why do you sound like that? You absolute. This isn't the man I fell in love with. You used to be Harrison Ford, and now you're goddamn, you know, fucking.
You actually look a little bit like Harrison Ford, you know.
He's actually Jewish, you know."
Yeah,
you know that.
Nice. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, well, there you go. The best star, Bob Dylan too. Hey, but
I know about Bob.
I love Bob Dylan.
Although I watched a documentary about Illuminati and he was in there.
I'll get lost.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Bobby Z,
Bob
Zimmerman. But yeah, no. Yeah. So when I was back in Coventry, well, just giving it away. But I was living in Coventry. That's where I grew up in. I would have a bath. I just decided when I moved back, I was like, I'm having a bath every single day. Like, I'm just going to have a bath every day. I'm a bath boy. I'm not even going to. Nope. That's might be the most mental thing we say all today. But I'm actually a bath boy. But 2 F's, BAFF, bath boy.
Bath boy.
Not even a bath, like proper.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
Well, it's mispronounced and misspelled.
Okay. That's
BATH is the
I
correct.
feel like bath is like someone with a straw going like blowing the bubbles in your bathroom.
You know what? Bloody hell!
Roman Empire.
No, that's Kanye's. That's what he does. Actually.
Yeah, he's a millionaire. He's a billionaire motherfucker.
Yeah. He's but no, yeah. So I moved back into Coventry, and I had a bath every day. But like it was weird because I could tell my parents were kind of excited that I was living with them again. Because my dad, like I was having a bath, and then my dad would try to come in to the bathroom. And you know when you're like, thankfully it was closed, but I was like startled because it's like you know, you're in a public toilet and putting the lock on, but then when you hear someone trying to type in the code and that, you're still like, I'm wiping
occupied.
Hello, or I'll whistle. I won't even communicate.
Nice.
I'll just be like,
They're like, oh, he's got music.
I just try and make it look like, hey, don't mind me. Like I don't want to embarrass them either by saying I'll keep it because people will be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So I just whistle, hoping that they'd all like open a sink, flush, so they get an idea of what's going on. But yeah, my dad tried to come in, and I was like, thankfully it was closed, and I was like, what's going on? Like, Dad, what's going on? Silence. Like, and then 10 minutes go by. I'm like, oh mate, maybe something's happened. I go into the living room and I'm like, what happened there? What did you want to show me? And he's just like, huh? And I, what do you want to show me? And he was like, oh, National Geographic had a bit about penguins, like their fur changes in the winter. And I was like, why don't you tell me? I had a space in the bath for you. Like we could have sat together. We could have. Ah, it was annoying.
We've done like the Tony Soprano.
What,
No, sorry. Oh my God, Tony Montana bit.
Tony Montana,
in the
yeah,
in the jacuzzi. Yeah. Oh
Tony
my
Montana,
God.
you know.
But the thing is, like with the because
Oddly enough, that's actually my dad. Tony Montana is actually he's Spanish and stuff, so he has a very strong Spanish accent.
We'll
touch on that, but carry on. Keep going.
What I wanted to say first is the thing with the bats, which is something that I respect because again, I do find them useful. The only problem is it's too much. I feel like the work it's too much.
What do you do?
Like
you've got them building a car in there.
No, but you like like
the mechanic all of a sudden, and
the idea of like turn on the water. Put like I don't know some salt or like bath.
Yeah,
like
but I fucking look. I turn into an absolute alchemist.
But then also,
I'm not even kidding. My brother and his mates used to take the piss out of me when I was growing up. They used to be like, "You're gonna make your bath, are you? You're gonna put all this?"
No
and
way.
I was like, "Yeah." Like I was like 14 at the time. I didn't give a fuck.
My mom lied to me when I was a kid. She said that the bath salt helps with weight loss.
And you were like, well.
And I was like, yeah, just like, whoa. Yeah. With the truck. No, but the thing, yeah, she did tell me that when I was a kid. But yeah, the problem is, and also when I'm in the bath, I feel like after 10 minutes, I'm like the most productive I've ever been. And I'm like, oh, I'm tired now. Like I need to, I need to do something. I need to get up and do something because I remember things that I forgot to do for months.
That's interesting because your brain it decompresses, and I guess it must.
Yeah, and
like, when you're calm, random memories come into your brain. Like, that I didn't say thank you. Remember when that fucking guy who opened the door didn't say thank you, or looked at me weirdly, or said something, scoffed. I'll remember that. I'm like, I should have said this to him. That absolute. That's how I feel. About the weight loss, I don't know. Maybe if you stay there long enough, you'll be sweating heaps. So I guess the salt could also add to how long you stay there.
Look, I don't think it was true.
There was a How many baths did you have? How many baths did you go to?
I used to at the time. I used to every Saturday. I used to have a bath every Saturday, and I'd go to like school on Monday, and I'd be like, "Hey, have you noticed anything different about me?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, you smell nicer." And I'm like, "No. What about my
look closer
shape? Yeah, look closer. Just the jaw.
What's going on, huh? What do we think?
But that's the bath bit. But you know what? That's pretty cool because I respect the fact that you found something that I guess again it helps you out.
Yeah, well, I've always been. I'm not gonna lie. I refound that spark again that I had with baths. I always had. I loved baths. Even as a young kid, I loved them so much. But I used to have. Obviously, when you have siblings, you have baths with them.
How many siblings do you have?
2. I'm the middle child.
Right.
And I used to have a bath with them. And I didn't like the texture of the bath on my ass, so I'd always wear my pants in the bath. I'm pants boy in the bath. But not now anymore. I've grown up, but that's definitely some Freudian shit. Or maybe I just don't like the texture of my ass, and I just didn't like it. So I'd wear pants. My brother on one side, my sister on the other side, and I'd be like, "Yeah, fucking."
How do you mean?
Listen, we were 19 years old. It's fine.
What do you mean on your ass? Like
the texture. I didn't like going bare but naked.
Oh,
in the bath.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't like the texture as a kid. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear pants to protect me because it would just annoy me.
Yeah.
And then I've always had sort of that. Yeah, I just always liked doing that. But I mean, I stopped that when I was, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably like 5 or 4 or something. But
I was gonna say it might be like last week.
Yeah, last week, after those tweets, I was like, you know what, we need some changes, right?
Yeah,
He's right.
I did some research.
Yeah, I did research of my own, and
Actually, yeah,
I'm onto it.
it's not bad for skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, man! But
Yeah,
okay, so
give
you
me some deeper meaning to that. Now I'm like staring at the ground, like,
just doing like
did my
some.
mother love me? Anyway,
We're just doing research.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
you're talking because you were saying your dad's Spanish.
my mum is as well. Yeah,
Oh, okay, so because then this is the thing you're talking about. Because also before we started recording, we told because you like football. I like
I love
football.
football.
Okay, we love football. But then because you're talking about like obviously you grew up in Coventry.
Yeah.
When did you move to Coventry then?
No, I was born and raised in Coventry, but
So
my
then how-
parents moved from Spain before I was born. From
Okay.
Barcelona, they moved to Coventry.
And then did you like how? I guess that's like probably a silly question, but I'll ask anyway. When did your parents? How did you get like to fall in love with Barcelona? Like when did they tell you that? Oh, we're actually from Barcelona. We're like Catalan.
I remember the day I was in the bath. No, I just
My dad knocked on the door.
Yeah, my dad knocked on the door and he was like, "Hey,
There is something.
next time." Yeah, I did a bit of research. I know how to unlock heat doors. No, basically, I've just always because I always spoke Catalan at home. Basically, always spoke Catalan. That was like my first language, and then obviously English in school.
No way.
Catalan is like my first, and at home we'd always speak Catalan. But sometimes if we didn't know the word in Catalan, we would use an English word, but we'd just Catalanize it or Spanishize it. Make it form it into like, so like for example, we'd say instead of I'm going to play with my friends, I'd be like I'd make it into I'd change the verb ending like yo me playaré. I will play playaré to play. I'd
play,
use that
play,
English
yeah.
word and I'd crowbar it into a
Catalan.
Catalan sentence. Yo playaré tomorrow or the ma is tomorrow. Yeah. So we'd always have our own language and crowbar it and sort of Frankenstein's monster stitch things together, and my parents would understand it. Sometimes they wouldn't, I'm pretty sure, but
Like,
they'd be like, just have a bath, you'll forget about it. And that was it really. But yeah, no, my dad sort of got me into football, and he wasn't a massive football fan. But then when we were born, me and my brother, we became more and more into football, and he became more in love with it and stuff. But he was a fan, but not massively. Like he talks about the dream team. He knows about Barcelona, like in the '60s as well with Luis Suarez, and and then in the '70s and a bit of a lull, and then getting Maradona, and then obviously Cruyff coming and changing the game for Barca, and then us winning the Champions League. Yeah, and then Figo, Rivaldo, Ronaldo, all these coming and going, and then Rijkaard, Ronaldinho, Messi, all of these guys come in. Xavi's, Iniesta, Busquets, Piqué, Puyol being all there, and then Guardiola winning the treble, best time ever. And then again with Neymar, Luis Suarez, and Messi again, and then just. But we always went to games and stuff like that growing up.
No way.
Because I was a half a little human for so long that we only had 2 tickets at times. We used to get it from my dad's uncle, who was a Barcelona season ticket holder. And he's one of the one of the socios, the members of Barcelona, like basically Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're clubs that the owners are the people, the members, basically. We have like the shares, we're kind of like the members of these clubs. They're called socios, which are like members, like social members, you know what I mean? And my dad's uncle is a big socio. I don't know if he's number 100 and something, like out of
holy
thousands.
Shit, man.
It's like, it's pretty cool. And and he used to give us, he had a ticket, but he could get another. It was at a time where Barcelona had a bit of a lull as well in the late 90s with Figo and that, but they weren't doing too well. So my brother, who was young at the time, my dad and my brother got through with 1 ticket, and then me, because I was, a little guys with a helmet at the time, they were like, let's just take him too. And I'd watch all these games, and Patrick Kluivert missing a few chances. It was all like that. Rivaldo playing though, Figo, Luis Enrique, Reisiger, Hesp in goal. Yeah, like it was really cool. Puyol was there, obviously. Xavi, but it was before Xavi was cool, Xavi then became, everyone was like, hang on, there's a guy doing all this stuff right now in the center of the pitch. Yeah, people only started appreciating him around 2008, really, didn't they? in the Euros and stuff. They did. It's true. And then Barcelona won the treble 2009.
Yeah, I think
And then it was
right,
like cemented further. And then 2010, the World Cup. Then 2012. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he delivered time and time again after that.
But he was around since like I remember.
He was around for
I
a
remember
while.
like FIFA 2005.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
exactly.
You'd still look at him and be like,
And they'd call him Xavi on the ball.
Xavi.
And I was like, it's Xavi, you fucking... We need a bath, you know, sort of thing.
I
Fucking
need a
need to
bath.
chill
I
out.
need to
I need to
relax.
chill out.
Well, so you'd go to Barcelona then quite frequent. That's
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
man.
a lot. I've got my whole family. Not my immediate family is in Coventry, my parents and stuff, but the rest of them are in Barcelona.
I mean, do you know why Coventry? Why did your parents decide?
Well, I can tell you like the jokey real truth as to why, which the real truth, but I'll pretend it's also a bit of a joke, but it is true. Essentially, my dad just wanted to escape his overbearing parents in Spain. He was an only child, and they were very overbearing, like on him, everything, like proper micromanaging, and he was really annoyed. And he was like, "Let me put a bit of sea between us.
Yeah,
Let's put a bit." And then he was like, "I've always liked England. I've always been fond of the UK. They do it well." And the options were either Brighton or Coventry.
right.
And he'd already been to Brighton, so he was like, "I'll try Coventry," which is actually just well, obviously we know now it's like a mistake. It's the worst choice, isn't it? Really. And
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is,
Coventry.
they moved like what after the Second World War, like.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly.
With all due respect.
I mean, the thing was, obviously, they moved in the 90s, but the effects were still going, and they're still felt to this day. You know, it still is like, it's the Blitz out there every.
Yeah, some things never change.
They still close all the curtains, everything. Lights are off at certain times. It's terrible, really. But yeah, no, they went to Coventry, and I was born and raised in Coventry, and Coventry's got a special place in my heart. Yeah, it's the hidden bit.
Because we were talking about like, do you follow Coventry Football Club, or do you like follow it but from far?
Yeah, more of my friends are big Coventry City fans, and I obviously want Coventry to do well and stuff, but I'm not like a massive fanatic or anything like that. But I have gone to quite a lot of their games over the years and stuff. But I've always been more of a Barcelona. Like Barcelona's always been that's what I feel.
Here's a question for you then. About the Barcelona and actually, yeah, like being like obviously being born in a family of people who say I'd say like expats, so they left. Was because I always hear about like the Catalonian, what do you call it? The Catalonian, like the spirit and the independence, and what was what's your like views on that, or like like what was it like to did like your parents speak much about it? Have you ever had this?
No, for sure. I mean, it's something that we've definitely spoken about a lot. So, for example, my family are like my uncle and stuff. My mum's side, they're pro independence. Like my uncle is he's kind of become anti-Spain over the years. Like he's very creative. He's one of those type of people. This is going to make sense in a sec, though. He's one of those type of people who he's genuinely a bit of a genius. Like almost too smart for his own good. He can pick up any instrument. He knows a fact about anything. Do you know what I mean? Like he's also an engineer who used to work for SEAT. And he was like top 3 in Spain. He got like a scholarship to go work in Germany to become an engineer and work with Volkswagen because they've got that connection. But he didn't go in the end. This was like back in the 70s, and he wanted to just stay in Barcelona with his family, which I'm pretty sure he regrets now. But anyway, we're not getting into that, but that's just family disputes right there. And and he's always been, I guess, very into music and bohemian, sort of that life, that creative life, and very anti-Spain as a result over the years, because Spain was very like dictatorship. It was the dictator. You couldn't listen to anything cool. You couldn't do anything cool, really. Yeah, and in Catalonia was more, it was always like the creative, it was at the forefront of social movements, especially Barcelona, more so Barcelona. And it still holds that sort of torch to this day. Barcelona is very like progressive, is my point. It's always been. It's very LGBTQ friendly, this, that, and the other. It's at the social forefront of a lot of movements in Spain. It's very cool, creative hub. You know what I mean? Like it's got that vibe to it. And he was always into music and stuff like that. I don't know if this is related to. I'm not saying that if if you're Spanish, you don't like music and stuff like that. But it was that whole life of like, because there's a lot of Spanish Catalan political musicians that happened back in the 60s and 70s, like Lluis Yak, which is the same name as me, first name. He was like a proper political anti sort of, yeah, he was just pro Catalan and he would write songs. And one of Pep's favorite songs is a song made by him. I could show you it afterwards. I forgot the name right now because I'm in a bit of a conscious flow. But yeah, and like my uncle kind of followed that route. He was very much into the
Okay.
Beatles, you know, all of this stuff. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
like he
yeah.
was culturally aware,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
When at a time in Spain, maybe it was a bit more closed off back in until he
Interesting.
died. So basically, Franco died in 1975. So my uncle, it was used to be called Xavier, which is like a Spanish way, and then you couldn't be called anything Catalan or anything like that. You had to be called
No
like a
way.
Spanish name. The day Franco died, he went to get his name changed to Xavier, which is the Catalan one.
Ah,
The day he died, like he couldn't wait. So that's the type of guy who hates the, you know, all of that stuff.
interesting.
So that's the type of guy my uncle is, and he's
Right.
very to the point where he's anti. He doesn't have a Spanish passport out of spite. He won't leave Catalonia.
Shut
He
up.
fucking hates Spain. Yeah, because of what like they've. He's also the he's a pro independence. This is his cause. He's fighting for it. Sometimes to the point where it's detrimental, and it's like, come on, man, it's
Yeah.
not doing your mental health any good. But
Yeah, yeah.
pride alone will, and stubbornness, which ironically is a Spanish trait, will.
Don't tell him.
Yeah. I'm like, have you thought about this
Like,
before?
yeah,
Have
you
you
have
had
to
a
tell him
bath before? Let
Spanish.
me tell you some things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's very
Holy
anti that,
shit, man.
and my family maybe because my immediate family is like we're in Coventry, we have a bit of a buffer, we have a bit more of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
chilled
yeah.
out. We're still like we're pro not if you want to do a referendum, we're pro not getting beat up by the police and all that and getting battered if you're an old
Which
lady.
I think is fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we're pro. And when you see your own people getting beat up by, and then they're just trying to, and then you see like your own family members in these people and stuff like, you're like, you know, stop doing that to these
Yeah.
people. Do you know what I mean? Like naturally, you'd be like, well, I know you might be like, oh, they instigated it, it's illegal. That's not how you treat people, though. If these are genuinely
Yeah,
your
it's a bit
people,
fucked up.
you don't really beat them up, though. You know what I mean? It's like, no,
Yeah.
you love me, you're staying with me. Do you know what I mean? You don't really do that to people. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Holy shit, man. Yeah, but I'm just curious because again,
Yeah.
uh,
So that's what kind of happened though. Like
mm.
they did this referendum, legal or illegal, whatever you want to call it, but still the police came in and they beat the shit out of these people. And it's like, oh, I'm confused though. So you're beating the shit out of the people you want to have in your
Yeah,
country,
that's
still
what
and be a part of you?
that's what I was gonna say. It sounds a bit like weird because you're like, hey, I thought you want
Yeah.
to be friends. You like you
Exactly. It's like, oh no, it's like we hate you, but don't leave. Are you fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Like we fucking hate you. We want to beat you up, but
Oh,
from
man.
close. How are we going to beat you up if you're far away?
This is so ridiculous. I mean, it's kind of oh god.
I've not
Fuck,
really ever
man.
been that bothered about it.
Yeah.
But it's when sometimes occasionally I get it thrown in my face like so I went to this might be a little bit too heavy for this podcast, but I'm
We
gonna
talked
go
about
ahead.
much
Yeah,
lots
yeah,
of
you
heavy
know,
stuff, so
yeah,
don't worry.
yeah, for sure. I've definitely mentioned, I mean, the whole Kanye thing.
No, not
Definitely.
even in this episode. Like we had people
Oh, right.
talk about like suicidal ideations and
Oh,
stuff like that. So
bloody hell.
don't worry. You
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just gonna say, so like, and when I went I went a year abroad in Australia. I was in Brisbane. I remember this was I was at this party with my friends, as you do. I was 20 years old, okay, and I'm at this party. Everyone's introducing themselves. Then I meet this guy who's from like Spain,
Yeah.
but he's like half Spanish, half German. He's proper blonde and all this and that. He's the opposite of like my family sort of thing. Like
Right.
we're not blonde and big and that. We're
Yeah.
just kind of like darker. And not even that dark, you know. I go green and I'm not like the hawk at all, you know, which is weird. But
From the bath.
yeah. Probably from that I need to check out my my liver actually. That's what we're getting down to. That's what this boils down to, really. But yeah, so I was at the party, introduced myself to the guy. I'm like, yeah, like he was like, my name is this and that. And the other, I'm from Madrid, this and that. And I'm like, oh, nice. So my name's Lewis. I'm from Coventry, but my parents are Spanish. They're from Barcelona. We're Catalan. And he goes, oh, and I go, oh, that's weird. And then he goes, where I'm from, we say Catalans are worse than people with Down syndrome. And I was like, Oh, I did. I wasn't prepared for. I don't have a retort to that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
You don't really. I guess it's like when someone says. I'm not saying it's like exactly like if someone gets a bit of racism to them,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'd imagine you're taken aback by it because you're like, oh, this is racism.
Yeah.
This is happening right now. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not prepared to.
Yeah.
If someone says this and that, normally you're not. You know, maybe some parents that are a bit on it, they'll be like, if someone says this, yeah, get back. But I'm not prepared for this. I'm like, oh, I thought this was a party.
Well,
I was just asking you,
yeah.
you know, how you doing? Imagine if someone said that about another, like a race, like, oh, I hate the black people are worse than people with Down syndrome. Or, you know what I mean? Like that would be everyone would be like, you're a weird, you'll get out. But because no one knew, even me, I was like, oh, I didn't know people felt like this. It was just so bizarre, you know. And I was like, I don't really like hearing that or you at the minute. I've just met you, and right now,
I don't like you.
yeah, I don't really like you. Is that all right? Like I wasn't even sure about. That's where my self-esteem was a bit. Like, I don't know, man. Am I allowed to not like this guy?
But this is the thing, though, where again, actually, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
No.
Oh.
Carry on.
I was just gonna say that it's so bizarre because yeah, I agree. I can see this because sometimes say like you I don't know something happens and say like look sometimes like now I go in central London I'm like no I would expect to see something that's like I don't like Jewish people or like
yeah,
anti-Zionist or anti-Jewish. And I'm like, but I'm like, okay, you know what? Once again, it's everyone's, but it's almost like I'm prepared for this.
yeah.
But then, like you said, when someone like throws, because I remember when I first moved to London, I was in the kitchen of my place. At the time, I was renting a room in a house.
Yeah.
And then as I walked in the kitchen, this guy that I was sharing the house with, who I've never met before, introduces himself, and then I introduced myself, and he goes like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm from Romania."
Okay.
And he goes like, "Oh, you're a gypsy," and I was just like, but like you said, because normally I'd be like, "Ah, you fuck," but then I was like, "What the what?" Like what? Like wait, what?
Yeah, you're not ready for it. Sometimes you're like,
because I didn't, because I'm not in. All I was saying basically the reason I gave the example before about Central is like again because sometimes like when I leave the house I'm like, hey, you know what? Like if I have like my Star or David around, I'm like something might happen. Like I'm kind of like okay, you like you said you're preparing yourself, in a way.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you just hear this kind, and also this is one of the things. The second thing that I was going to say is that I always found quite interesting, especially with people that are like in a different country, where you're meant to be the progressive one.
Yeah.
Like it's obviously like if you say like I meet Romanians in Romania and they are, they say something like racist or something homophobic or stuff like this, and I'm like, it's sad, but I would have expected. Like I would have seen it coming because I'm on your turf.
Yeah.
But technically, you left the country. Like I see people in the UK, for example, and then I hear people here going like, "Oh, I don't like gay people." I'm like, "What? What? Wait, hang on a minute."
People still say that.
Yeah, which is again like it's happened.
They'll probably do it like Bryce Howard, cover it up a little bit.
Yeah, I did some research, and you know what? No, but this is I actually I walked into a conversation recently, and then someone that I know said something about like not liking gay people, and I was like, bro, again, like why? But also like, why are you here? Like again, this is the thing because
they like you. No,
if I hear this in Romania. Once again, it goes back to the guy from Madrid.
Yeah.
If you're in Madrid, you're okay, but then I thought you want to leave your country to like broaden your horizon.
But that's the thing. It's funny you say that because I remember another day with this same guy, they were asking. I remember they were like, we were talking. He's a nationalist, like Spanish nationalist. No surprises, basically. And I've got more to it, but I don't know if I want to say it as well because I don't want to be like. I mean, not that he's going to listen to this and that. No offense. I mean, he might do. Hey,
you and a Catalan, no.
Yeah. Which are synonymous at this point. He's, but yeah, what was I going to say? So basically, I remember that we asked him, or we were just having a conversation, and because he was friends of my friends. And I was like, get rid of this guy. Like, I don't. This guy. I'm closer to the friends that we're both friends with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm closer to him, and I'm like, this guy's a nutcase. Yeah, like he's a weirdo. Like,
was a group of Spanish people?
No, international students. A lot of English, Spanish. I'm still friends with people from everywhere. People from absolutely everywhere. I remember we were going around and they were like, I remember it got to him and we're like, what do you prefer? What's your favorite? Is it Australia or Spain? He was like, Spain. I prefer Spain. It's like, why are you doing your degree here then?
Yeah.
Like, it's goddamn gorgeous here. You can't come to a world and be like, it's still better where I am from. It's like, clearly not. You would have stayed there. Do you know what I mean? A little bit like, and it just epitomized who he was. It was like, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Ugh.
Yeah.
Whenever they asked, what do you prefer, England or Australia? I was like, Australia in a heartbeat. Like, it was so much nicer. It's sunny every day. You're happy. That's it. And that's the bottom line. And I
weird
underline it.
about coffee. I don't like them.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
Sorry to everyone. Although we have
Right, I'll see you
listeners
later.
from Australia. But
no, yeah.
yeah, no, Spain is my favorite.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
just how close-minded this is
Yeah.
the point. Like you can be with that. Like it just lie to us. In fact,
if anything,
Just lie.
in this situation, because some people are like, hey, do you like England? I'm like, yeah, I love England.
Yeah.
I do like England.
yeah. Bad example then, really. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But I agree with you because I think unfortunately at one point I think when I first came here I was like, yeah, Romania is the greatest country in the world. Although you can't get a job, or if you get, you're very shit
Yeah.
paid. But it's the greatest country. And then, but again, like, that's what I'm saying. With the time, you're like, what the fuck? Like, wait, isn't that why I left?
yeah, exactly. Why did I leave then if it's so
And
good?
then you're like, oh no, I think, and also like, the thing with the down. I actually met loads of. I think. There is a higher percent of people with Down syndrome that I've met who I actually like
They're great.
than people.
I want to meet more. In fact, I know that sounds actually.
Than,
Anyway,
than
Okay.
people without. I was just to say like
I've had too many
I was
baths.
gonna say rather than like people from Spain. No,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
joking.
hey, it's all right. Hey, as long as Catalans are separate.
But this is interesting, Brian, because like I've not spoken. Actually, I've never spoken to anyone from Barcelona about their like views on Catalonia and
Yeah,
it
It's
sounds
it's a really,
heavy.
it's always been there, and dare I say it, Mourinho instigated it again in 2010s, like the whole rivalry
Wait, how
between
come?
Real Madrid and Barcelona, because he would always make press conferences and be like, "Oh, because he's Catalan and stuff like." He would make because he got his, he learnt his trade or a lot of it, to be honest,
Yeah,
in
from Prague.
Barcelona,
Yeah.
and he was with what's it called with Sir Bobby Robson. He was his like translator, and he learned a lot. It was Guardiola. One of the players, the
I
captain
thought
at the
it
time.
was,
Mourinho was the assistant.
I thought it was with
Bobby
Cruyff.
Robson.
Okay.
Cruyff, no, he came just after.
After,
Cruyff had
okay,
left
okay,
at that
yeah.
point. And yeah, so Mourinho secretively or not so secretively always wanted to be a Barcelona trainer, manager afterwards. It's true. Before Pep got the role in 2008, they interviewed both Mourinho and Pep, and they thought that Mourinho was too negative. He didn't have the Barcelona philosophy really,
Yeah.
and they went for Pep. A lot of people were like, "What are you doing?" Like, why are you going for Pep?
Yeah.
He's just in the Barcelona B. I was against it at the time. First two games Barcelona under Pep that Barcelona had in that season, they won everything. They lost and they drew against Numancia and Hercules, like shit teams, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is over." Then after that, they won everything in the treble. Like, do you know what I mean? But I was really skeptical at the start. Yeah, and Mourinho, yeah, I think he always really wanted to be a Barcelona manager or something to do with that because it's the club that it's a beautiful club, really. I'm going to be honest with you.
Again,
It has a lot of meaning, that club, to a lot of people. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased with that, but like it, because of the history and stuff, and what it meant is Miscon Club originally because it was used like as a political sort of conduit. The only way you could criticize the government was through the club because the Catalan and government and stuff like that were killed and trialed and like killed back in the days. Genuinely, this is true.
Oh.
So they would do it via the club. That was like a sneaky way of, well, fuck you. It's like,
Yeah.
like, well, we're playing football here. What's your issue? Yeah, that's
Like
it in a nutshell.
like pull those t-shirts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. And
Yeah.
it's just like
Exactly.
the
Fuck you. And then
government.
I'm
Like, hey,
what's
what
that?
are you
It's
saying? I was like,
actually,
no,
read
yeah.
closely.
If you do your research,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
says,
If you do a couple more baths in you,
yeah.
and you'll chill out. But
shit,
yeah, like
man.
that was kind of it in a nutshell. I've probably butchered the story, but that's why it's Miscon Club. That's why it means a lot more. It's because literally even the president of Barcelona, the football club, was like killed and murdered back in the 20s or 30s. I don't know exactly. Just because he was like Catalan and kind of outspoken a bit more.
So then, how did you, as a Barcelona, as an individual from Barcelona, or like even like with
Coventry.
parents from Barcelona? No,
Yeah,
my question was, how do you pick between Espanyol and?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Is that actually because it's Espanyol? It means that they are like the ones that are pro Spain?
Spain and the royalist sort of
Right.
it's like it's like I don't know, Liverpool are anti that, Barcelona are very anti the government and all that.
I
It's similar.
think by asking you, I actually answered my own question. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Espanol.
Literally, they were like, this was how Espanol came about. They were like, we don't have a team that is sounding Spanish and represents Spain. So they were like, Espanol, where should we do it? In Barcelona, in Catalonia. Like,
Interesting.
you know?
But I guess like that, is there like a big rivalry between the?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a few Espanol Barcelona games,
Okay.
and believe me, I went with my family. This was like 2016 that I last went to the Espanol Barca at the Camp Nou. And I remember we were walking to our seats with my family, like my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister,
Wow.
walking. And then we're going up the tunnel, and
Yeah.
there's a little gate between the away fans and the home fans. We're walking up, we hear all this. We see all these Espanol fans, like hundreds of them on the other side of the gate, seeing us, like walking past, going mental, spitting on us, like shouting at us. I mean, I'm with my mum and my sister and stuff. They're spitting on us, going fucking doing like crotch stuff. Naturally, you're just like you're doing that because you have to. Like it's you're not just going to be like, well,
like, thank you.
They've missed their bus, have they, or something like that. Oh yeah, well, thank you. So we just gave it back to them, and didn't spit or anything, but you had to just instinctively you're like, well, this is dangerous. You have to protect them, so you did the little wrist sign. Let me protect you. Yeah, fuck off.
Like imagine like your dad go like, I got you.
I got you. Hey, put it down. Everything he's got, and I'm like, Dad, I wasn't aware of your game. This is great. When you're Catalan, this is what you have to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, they see all the wrist shaker, the shaker the wrist. But yeah, so that it's a real these guys.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Guillem Balaguer is an Espanol fan. Guillem Balaguer. Do you know the guy who does the Spanish guy who sometimes talks in the football? He's a journalist and
yeah.
You've probably seen him before. You probably
the last
Balaguer,
name.
Balaguer.
Yes.
Yeah, he's an Espanol fan. He's Catalan, but an Espanol. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. But he's good. He knows what he's doing.
I talking with like about football rivalries and stuff like this because I also follow like my mom's favorite club in Romania is this like a club called Rapid Bucharest, which actually has a similar history with Barcelona in the respect of them being like anti-system and being like also like anti-communism and they suffered a lot because of that. But I remember one of my uncles told me actually a story. He went to because he was a part of the police, like he's a retired police, no brutality, or at least as far as I'm aware. But he's a part of the he was a part of the police. So then at one point he went to Bucharest to watch Dinamo Bucharest play Steaua Bucharest, which was like one of the biggest rivalry. It was the team of the army, which is Steaua, against the team of the police, which is the Dinamo.
But yeah, it sounds like a gangs in New York sort of.
It's great, because that's how kind of like football clubs and I think because I know some in Spain they have like Universidad in a title.
Yeah.
So it's the idea that like in Romania that's how clubs started as well.
Yeah.
It was a club of the students, a club of the military, a club of
or the workers here, this and that, and they can.
We had like FC Nacional, which was of like the players who were again like working for like the enterprise called the National Enterprise.
Okay.
And
right.
But what I was gonna say is that we went to like a Steaua Dinamo game, and he told me that there were people. They like the ultras start fighting each other over the fence, so they start like throwing stuff at each other. Shit. But the best, the thing that like really blew my mind is the fact that he kept telling me that like they were not. Again, he didn't say that he did, but people were like peeing in the beer bottles, and then throwing them at the other. But then
with the lid on, or obviously, loose if anything. Obviously, yeah.
No, but again, like no, just like as it is, and they'll just like throw it and hope for the best. But
that's listen, that's actually annoying for the recipient.
But imagine being the guy, like even the person who throws it, because you have to like unzip.
Yeah.
pull your dick
Yeah.
out, like pee,
Slot it
and
in.
then you have to
hopefully,
like
'cause it might
like
spill everywhere.
and also you have to be careful when
Yeah, you have to be a bit. But you're in like the war zone. You're in our war zone, right?
And-
then you're like,
and this is what I
people are bumping into you. You're like, let me just
this is the picture that I have in my head of like loads of men just going like,
yeah, just going.
oh, hang on a minute, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second,
Yeah,
ready.
I'm not looking at you.
Yeah, then
yes,
it's like
yes. This is our Molotovs. Actually, this is homemade.
And that's what I was like.
Yeah,
That's one of the best stories. I like
so
the best things I can think of, like football rivalries.
That's
when
so funny. Just the idea of like, I'm fucking, yeah, just a fucking moment.
just wait.
I can't do it. Everyone's not too noisy. Can everyone shh?
Yeah, turn around, turn around.
You turn around. No. Hey, I'm still doing it. What are you doing?
Hey, don't look.
Stop. Okay.
But you just be like, oh my god, I'm a mess.
I need a toilet.
Yeah, and imagine being like one of those. Either like you piss on yourself or you throw piss at someone.
Yeah, I don't know if would you be more inclined to then be fighting someone if you've pissed on yourself? Would you be more like, I just want to go home, or would you be like, I'm fucking might as well, got nothing else to lose. I'm fighting that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you more inclined to do the fighting or just be like, just call it a day?
No, I'm a fairly like I'm a lazy individual. Like actually, I remember once we were on a school trip and I needed to go to the toilet and my teacher was like, "Just pee in a bottle. Like I'm not gonna stop the
It's
bottle."
Romania?
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" I remember like that was the first and the last time when I peed in a bottle, and it was like one of the most difficult experiences of my life.
That's so
And I've been through a lot. Like my parents are dead. I moved into this country when I was 17. Like I've seen stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing felt as tough as trying to piss through luckily they didn't have those like new type of lids, the ones that don't go away.
Yes.
So
that would have sometimes that
just
would have been on a what was it, on a bus, did he say as well?
Yeah. And also imagine like basically she asked the kids on the back row to like stand up. So basically she told the whole bus like, hey, this guy needs to take a piss. Move. And then everyone moved. And then I went on the back of the bus and I was trying to like
oh my god,
yeah.
Oh my god, that's fucking terrible. That's like not fun at all. You're like, I wish I didn't tell anyone.
I was like, yeah, that's
piss my
I
pants.
was like 10, 11.
Fucking hell. That's awful. You got to piss it through one of those old, do you know those carton sort of drinks with the straw?
No, no, it was a bottle because I remember it was a bottle of Sprite.
Bottle of Sprite. That helps, to be fair. The Sprite, would make the wee worse, actually. Lemonade, for some reason, would make it worse.
Well, yeah, I didn't.
Oh, my God. That lemony, zesty pee. Oh, my God. On a hot... I'm imagining it's warm in there as well.
It was actually, because it was a summer... It was like a spring
This is
break,
a recipe for an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
That is
literally someone used it as a recipe.
Yeah, then someone then made it. It's like, right, what do we have here? Right,
I always think... Again, yeah. But anyway... oh god,
no, that's horrible.
It's been an hour, so that's good.
There you go.
But I wanted to ask you something else, because then we haven't even touched. How did you? Because actually, you know what, you mentioned one, because I was going to ask you how did you get into doing comedy, but then actually the second question would be because we were talking about when I was setting up for the podcast, you told me about like the interface that you have. So
Focusrite.
What's your music background as well, or is it just that you?
Well, my background's always been, because it was always football, my friends and stuff like that. Like we always used to play football, but none of my friends, and I really wanted to be I wanted to do a bit more music because I also played the guitar since I was like 7.
What kind?
The classical, but then moved on to electric. I know like bossa nova, sort of different stuff. I've been playing for over 24 years maybe now.
No way.
And I've always just liked the guitar, but none of my friends did. It was always football, and I enjoyed football a lot. Then I went to Australia and I opened up in university, and I was like, let me be more creative. Let's follow that. And then I was like, I'm really into comedy because I found myself saying a couple of funny lines here and there, and people were like, you know what, you're all right, you got some funny stuff, and I was like, maybe I do, and I was like I don't know, maybe people say that all the time to everyone. And I started writing stuff down, and I was like, when I moved to London from Birmingham, I'm gonna pursue comedy and music. So I started making music. I was like, how can I get people to join a band or make? So I started recording music, putting it out there, putting it out adverts, and then people started coming and being like, "Yeah, it's pretty good. Let me join this and that and the other." And I made a band called G's Luis after my name. We were pretty good. We like, I don't know. We played a few festivals. We've done this and that. We've done all right, yeah. But recently now we've kind of disbanded. But we're taking it a different direction, basically, with a few members that are left. And I also wanted to pursue comedy at the time because I was like, I like this bohemian life. I'm moving to London. I'm gonna do like this creative work. I want to be in the underbelly of the city, like at night. I want to be working there. I don't care about this, that, and the other. I just want to do this stuff, and then go back home. I like that idea. There was something really romantic about it, and I would read tons of autobiographies on comedians. Like Gary Shanlin and Steve Martin and like literally everyone.
Very good book. Sorry, the Steve Martin.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Beautiful.
Lenny Bruce, all of these. Like I really got to what was the so it's Richard Pryor as well. But who's the second? Who's the guy who always, I forgot his name now. But the Irish American comedian who came up just after Lenny Bruce. Well, I can't remember, and that's quite
Irish American.
Yeah, American Irish. Sorry, American Irish.
No.
So it's Dan Carlin. No, George Carlin.
George
Carlin. So.
Is he Irish American?
Well, Irish descent. Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Interesting.
But yeah, George Carlin. I remember reading this book, and then obviously Bill Burr, Louis C.K., all these people. And I remember when I was first getting into comedy, I was like obsessed with it. And I remember watching a video that Bill Burr did, and I was like, let me write down everything he's said in this video. It was about half an hour. I wrote everything down, and I was looking at it, and I was like, what makes this so funny? I was like, it doesn't look that funny. It's the way he said it.
Yeah.
I remember breaking it down, like literally breaking it down, being like, this is a simple, this is what he said. And I remember just like looking at it and being like, there's not much. And just, looking at different angles at how, just breaking stuff down and seeing how I could do it. And then I kind of plucked up the courage to do a gig in London right next to the comedy store called the Comedy Pub. And it went really well. I did over like 7 minutes. It was meant to be 5 minutes. No one threatened to, kill me after that, which was actually really nice. And then I was like, this comedy thing, like I'm the shit. Bombed forever afterwards. Bombed like second time terribly, third time terribly. Fourth, there was a good joke. Saved that. Fifth, terribly. Six, started to form something. Seven, all right. Eight, terribly. Nine, pretty good. 10, no. 11, it kept being like that. And then I started doing okay, better, then terribly for a bit. Then started building up again and stuff. And I've been kind of inconsistently doing it, or intermittently, like starting and stopping and doing other things, and life gets in the way sort of thing. And yeah, but comedy's always been like a good thing to, I feel like I've explored myself more in it as well. And I've become more used to being all right with just being on stage. And the way I kind of work, I can do anything that happens, I can kind of talk about it right in the moment. Like I'm very reactive comedy. Right. I can do that really. I feel like that's a forte. I can do it well. Whereas if I'm like trying to get, everything like I've reciting, like everything I've planned to say, because of the word, it needs to be specific. I need to say it verbose, like word for word or verbatim sort of. Then it kind of works against me because it didn't feel as natural. I need to get annoyed. I almost like want something, like I'm about to say a joke and I fuck it up and I fucked up. Then I can really come out as me. I'm like, like I remember the first time there was a turning point in my comedy. Not saying that anything's happening from the comedy anyway, but there was a moment where I was like trying to recite it, this and that, and I was it was in Battersea, I remember, and the mic was all broken. It was like a weird, shitty stand. And I was doing this bit, and then I stumbled over my word and I went, oh, that fucking does it. I'm sick of it. And I started breaking it down. I was like, I'm coming out here. I've been practicing this shit all week, every night. And then I come out here, this mic stand isn't even fucking working. Like, this isn't even, like, look at this sellotape holding it all together, And here I am, stumbling over words for people who don't even give a fuck. Like, they're not even listening. People are looking away. Like, as I said, there was a guy like looking down. I was like, look at this guy. He's not even looking at me. Like, he's not even looking. Like, and people started laughing because I was genuinely annoyed with that. And I'm like, I'm coming out here, trying my hardest. And then I might be all right. Then my voice quivers it drops at the last minute for no reason. The stand is all wobbly. Like I'm holding on to this. Like I almost fell on the way here. Like I started to just say that, and it was a lot better, and it was felt more real. So yeah, and that's how I just kind of carried on doing it intermittently. But sometimes when I'm on stage, it just feels nice. And I'm getting to that point now.
Yeah,
I just feel like and getting better at just being me.
But I think that that's a very important thing, because I think that like sort of was the word because it's not even just about like the material. I agree with you. I feel like to be comfortable to be on
Yeah.
stage, to be comfortable to like be yourself as well.
Yeah,
It's so big.
it's so big and it's so.
And then did you gig in Australia as well? When you
No,
were
because
there?
that was before. But that was when I was like inspired by all that creative. Like I saw performance arts and that, and I did drama there as well with my mate. So I did biology as my degree. But
Wow.
when you go a year abroad, you can do 2 subjects related to what you're doing, but 2 irrelevant. So I did sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We just listened to music, break it down, and then drama. Me and my mate did drama like full on. Like I did biology and then drama. I'm there performing in front of the whole uni. Like, oh wow. And like me and my friend, who's also English, good mates with him still now. We did this performance in front of the whole drama school, and because we were English, our accents, everyone was like, "Oh man, look at these guys!" The next Daniel Day Lewis or Chuckle Brothers, at least these guys are up there. And we would just speak in our accents. Everyone mesmerized by it. Look at these.
What'd you do, like Fiddler on the Roof? Or?
No, yeah, I don't know what we did. Further on the floor, really, by the sound of it. But no, we just kind of did this. I don't remember what it was, some shitty scene of something. We didn't even have any prop. Like we turned up on the day, we weren't prepared, and this was like a big assessment. And everyone else had props, dressed up, and we were like, "Are we meant to have props?" And we were like, "Can we borrow this box?" Just before we were like, "Can we borrow that box?" And they were like, "Sure." And we're like, "We just had a box with it just to give us."
I'm moving out, Mom.
It's irrelevant to the story completely. My friend had a box, and the funny thing was, so straight away we've been rehearsing it. I'm saying my line, I'm doing it. Straight, he goes to my friend to say his bit. He's frozen there, and he's not saying it. I'm like, "Fuck man, he's a really good actor. This guy's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, he's any second now." And he's just there, like, and he goes, "Line." He forgot his line, and he went like immediately as well. And he just goes, "Line," and then obviously they're like in the crowd, the lady who's assessing it was like, "Can't you see they need a line? Someone give him the line like proper," because they thought that we were professional English guys. Like the shit. And my mate was just like straight away, just like I remember him rubbing his beard, and I'm like, "Oh, he's got that Anthony Hopkins about it, and that is quality." And then he went, "Yeah, line, line." And I'm like, "Give him a line." I didn't break character. I was like, "Yeah, like, whatever it was." He was like, "Line," and they were like, "Can't you see he needs help? Give him a line out here." And they gave him a line. We got back into it. Not the best, obviously, but everyone was like, "Wow, these guys are something." They're something. And we had this random box here with us just for no reason, just to make up the fact that we just didn't know what we were doing. But it was so funny. So funny.
I wish this is one of the
Would have loved to have seen that again.
things I wish I could do like theater. I did like monologues when I was at school.
Yeah.
On stage and stuff like that. But I wish I did theater just because I wish I could say I wish I could shout the word line.
Yeah.
Someone.
Such
You know,
a like self-entitled.
Yeah.
Line. Yes, hurry up. Yeah, feed me. Or something like that. Great. It's the same. Yeah, but the fact that it was straight away, like, and I was like, this guy's good. And everyone's like, these guys.
Like, wow, he's enjoying the moment.
He's really in the moment. Yeah. And he was just like that. And he was like looking around. And I'm like, oh, man, these are, we didn't even rehearse this. Like, he's coming out with everything. And he went, line.
Yeah, like,
and I was like, oh, shit.
Theater genius.
He's up there. But everyone there, like, with starry eyed, like, these guys.
Imagine if after
Marlon Brando over here.
If someone after the show would have been like, "Hey, I'm from like the Australian National Television. We were thinking to turn this into a TV thing."
That would have been it. But the funny thing was about that, they were like, "Oh yeah, you did. You guys were going for that in-betweeners thing," and we were like, "We weren't. We were serious as hell." We were. This is a scene about someone's mother dying. Yeah. What are you talking about? And I gave him, fucking noshing each other off or whatever. Yeah. No, it wasn't any of that. We were serious, but they were like, "Yeah, you guys went for that in-betweeners angle." And we were like, we just forgot our lines, I think. We just were trying our hardest.
Imagine if he was like, a scene about like, again, like the First or like Second World War.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, you went for the betweeners? Look.
You made it. You guys went for that modern angle. That's like, cool, man.
Who's which in betweener?
Yeah, this is Schindler's List. We don't even... we just shortened the list.
That was it. I need the names.
Our list was what we forgot the lines. We didn't even...
Bro. But this is amazing though, because like, it's and then because now you're talking about like doing the like with the day job stuff, like because you said
Yeah.
that you move back to London and you live nearby.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, what you've studied is heavy. What you do, you work in the field in the
Well, I'm in education and I'm teaching now. I'm
Oh,
teaching all the sciences. So I'm teaching a lot of physics at the minute. But even though I did biology, physics is very hard. But I'm teaching a lot of physics and it's not that enjoyable. Electromagnetic waves. So
I
you
do.
would-
I actually I do mechanical engineering.
Okay.
I don't mind physics. Like yeah.
Yeah, we better not talk about physics because I'll be like, line. Like, help
Line.
me out here. Help me out here. Yes. Wave speed equals, I don't know. Yeah.
Line.
Yeah.
Line.
We'll just both be getting just bullshit. Like, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we
So
think
actually, wait, because I have the
radio waves are actually, their wavelengths are.
I have the IET magazines. Like,
Oh, really?
They are around. Yeah, yeah. I don't know where, but
Line.
line.
You need
yeah.
a helper.
Like, oh, Trump and America. How is he gonna save the? No, actually, there is an article about. I'll show you later. It's an article about like Trump's commitment to the next World War. No,
the next, yeah, well,
no, technology actually. Yeah, it was something to do with like AI, and it's gonna be like Trump eye.
Oh God!
Sorry, that was such a bad joke.
Sounds like a
line.
Futuristic, yeah. Line. Now we just said line.
But mate, this is amazing because yeah.
So stupid, but
isn't it great? Because sometimes I feel like when I don't know if it happens to you when you do like gigs as well, where sometimes like I'd come up with a joke on stage and so everyone was like, "Oh my god, that's golden!" I remember I did a gig a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
It was a trial spot as well, and then the promoter after the show was like, "Oh, you're brilliant. You're a very good joke writer. Like, I really enjoyed that joke, and I genuinely just said it on. Just stumbled up on it. And it's like, you can't. And I think he said something like, you can't tell that you're like, like you're enjoying like the craft of writing. And I was like, yeah. But I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I taped this.
And you're like lined.
Yeah, I was like, what was the to be or not to be? But
that's I guess that's a high compliment though. At that point, it's like I'm stumbling upon genius. At that point,
I'm a genius.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
10 years. I'm 10 years away from saying that I'm a nut.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you gonna?
Twitter won't be there anymore. And do you know the fact that you said a lot of people moved on over Twitter. I'm also one of those people who I moved from Twitter to this and that. Well, actually, my account got hacked on Twitter, so I was like, "Well, good riddance." My account got hacked, and they were probably doing some dirty stuff. That's exactly what someone who was like putting data. Oh, it was hacked.
Those porn videos. Yeah, that wasn't me.
Porn videos where it was to do with the midgets and all that. Definitely not me. Definitely not into that.
Holy shit!
No line. But I just I got hacked and I moved over to Blue Sky. I haven't really used it.
But this is the thing though, because you see, and I guess that's but this is a problem because I tried Threads. I tried Blue Sky. I went with an open heart on Blue Sky. It's the username on Blue Sky is the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's like
crap.
Levi or like Levi, Lupu, Blue Sky official, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Again, I agree that there is a lot of hate on X.
Yeah.
But again, the thing is, you don't have to look at it. Like, I'm sorry, obviously, this is the thing. Like, if I go, because I follow like NFL stuff, I follow like American football, hockey, whatever I care about. And then,
rugby? Rugby?
No.
Six Nations.
No,
man.
I mean, I think I follow this. I watch the Six Nations,
okay,
but just that. Like, I don't.
Okay,
I'm not like
club.
No. I don't know why. I feel like I'm better, but no, I'm joking.
Okay, yeah,
so it's not to say, but line. Help
me out here.
How do I dig myself out? But no, but the thing is that I enjoy that, and then obviously like like once in a while I'll see something like another like immigrant killed this like white people. I'm like, this is annoying. But then you know what? You scroll past that post without interacting with it, and then the next post is again about American football,
about the immigrant and what bad things he did.
Yeah, but then, but you see, this is the thing. Like, I'm just like, okay, it's shit, but
it's like you can look at porn if you want all the time. For me, it just keeps popping up.
Yeah,
I search for it, it just keeps popping up. I can't believe it,
bro. I think someone sent me for saying this. Someone sent me a couple of days ago No, a couple of
Someone
weeks ago.
sent
I
me.
saw a friend of mine sent me a video of this. I think it was something to do with like Romania, but it was also like this lady with like a big like bosom. And then I watched the video,
Oh,
but then now
how many
when you
times?
go on Reels, not once. Well, I twice because I want to make sure that I understood.
Yeah.
But then the thing is that now you go on my Reels feed,
Yeah. No, it's
and it's like again it's football comedy bosoms,
Yeah.
football comedy. But bro, I watched one.
you
Oh
watch 1
god.
minute and that's it. They're
Yeah,
waiting for you
and this is
to.
the thing now, like it's obviously sometimes like I check my phone when I'm with my partner. I'm like, oh fuck, how do I get rid of this
Yeah.
shit? Anyway,
I've been in that. Yeah, well, I've shown her something on my phone, like and then it will go on. It will go to my algorithm, and it will come out with someone wearing short shorts, and I'll be like, oh shit, and then she'll be like, okay, what have you been?
yeah, what have you been doing?
And I've been like, lying out,
Yeah.
from the
Baby, I love you.
Yeah.
I would never.
I love your way. I'm just singing, just oh baby, I love. And she's like, that's adorable.
Yeah, it'd be like next first video, like again, someone like bouncing around. Second video,
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah,
You know, like a quartet, like a bar. Corner shop.
Hello, I love
sort of
you.
thing.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime.
You see, this is the problem anyway. This is
They just can't, and it's difficult to defend yourself when that happens. Though, 'cause
Yeah.
like, what do you want me to do? I just the algorithm that I made, that if I can make
Yeah.
for me, customized it.
But then how did I again? How did I make it? Like that's the problem. I want to know how did I make it, so then I don't make it.
yeah,
Or at
how do
least-
I unmake an algorithm?
And-
This is what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
by making an
And
algorithm.
now I'll
What's
just
your
go
problem?
like, should I just watch like naked
Yeah,
men?
but to balance it, to cancel it out, basically,
Yeah.
to nullify what has been done. Yeah, do I do that? No, because then it would just be like,
That if anything, that would raise more questions with my partner.
yeah, that would make, and then no, I'm not getting into that. She already thinks I'm gay, so I can't,
Yeah.
I can't have that.
But I'm sure.
Yeah,
Line. No.
yeah,
But look,
Yeah.
Louis, this was amazing. I really enjoyed
likewise, yeah,
this, and we will do this again because I feel like there is still a lot that needs to be we can dive into. But
hmm
for now, the question is, to wrap it up, to like end on is, where are you most active socially? Have you got anything coming up in the spring or summer? But like where do people start
like
you?
I've got kind of two projects. I've got my comedy, which I have an Instagram account for, and it's Lluis, LLUIS _ Marc, MARC _ Xavier or Xavi, XAVIER. Lluis Marc Xavier, basically. That's my name.
You took all the Catalonian names.
Apparently, yeah. All I'm waiting for is a goat, actually, or the donkey afterwards, because that's the donkey is the mule. Sorry, is our symbol, because we're the slaves. We put up with the work. We just carry shit all the time. We carry in Spain, and we don't complain about it. And we're stubborn, and we do it. We get this shit done. That's and also you can find my other project, which is the band G's Lluis as well. JEEZ, and then Lluis is LLUIS. And we got our music online and stuff like that. We got good. We sound all right.
And then what do you play in the band?
I play the guitar, I sing, and I write the music.
Sing as well?
Yeah, I'm a singer. I'm not really. There's just a certain range I do, and if I don't remember that range, I just go, "Can you
line?" I'm just stopping a concert going.
Yeah, just be like
line.
At times, I if we've messed up the start of a song, I just go, "No, we're doing that again." It's like I've done that with a joke before. I've fucked it up. I'm like, I fucked that. I'm going to do it all again. I'm doing it all, and then that's kind of been funnier than the actual joke. I'm like, let's all redo that. Just no, I didn't like it, and I'll do it again.
That's interesting because I feel like, but this is the thing. Sometimes I think even myself, when I walk over the punchline, I get so like frustrated and almost sad. But it's quite good that you get the thing of like, you know what?
I mean, that's only when I'm like, say if it's been so terrible, and I'm like, no, this isn't representing me well at all. No, I'm doing this again. Start now. The time.
Yeah,
I'll just say that to the guy.
Line.
Yeah, exactly.
Like touch me like with the makeup.
Exactly. Let's we'll regroup in 2 minutes.
Perfect.
Actually.
Well, it was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're more than well. Again, thank you for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was good, right? Like, come on, let's be for real, for real. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It was. I've learned a lot. You know, I didn't know a lot of this again, especially the things about like Catalonia that we talked about. And next week we're back to normal. We're back to non-topical, stand up. No, stand up. Jesus, sorry, I've mixed up. I've got my routines mixed up. No, we're going back to non-topical um, podcast episode. It's going to be very good. It's going to be part one of two, by the way. But you'll get more information then. However, yeah, look, guys, I hope you well, people. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. Check out Luis's socials, which I will leave in the bio of the episode. And if you enjoyed me, or listening to this, then subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies. Maybe that's how you're gonna, patch things up over. Maybe you're gonna have a very like deep conversation about everything that you've learned or everything that you enjoyed about this podcast, and then that will um, that will get you to like bond and yeah, create something meaningful. But who knows, right? Anyway, I'd just say, look, thank you for listening as usual, and yeah, you're much appreciated. And from me, Pickle and Sarma. Oh, sorry, I forgot the Super Bowl. We're gonna have the results of the Super Bowl, which is hopefully a Eagles win. Uh, yeah, I was gonna say, hey, I hope the Eagles win the Super Bowl, but yeah, that's it from me, Pickle and Sarma. Stay skillful. Bye.